Okay, so the stream just started. Let's get into it. The idea of today's stream is something I previously... Yeah, I made a stream already about this subject. But basically, on my channel, on the main channel, we have this posts tab where every single day I ask the community a question generally related to Cyberpunk, right? Now, of course, I mixed it up here and there, mainly stuff related to CD Projekt Red and their products, right? And so I thought to myself that every single month I will do a video, a roundup of every single post I made and what the results of the votes are, right? Together with a few comments. The comments people added to these posts, right? Thankfully, a lot of people are interested in these, so thanks to them. And we'll see for how long we can make these polls. For now, as I said, I posted one every single day. If you have suggestions, feel free to type them in the comment section of this stream maybe, or in the comment section of some of these polls. If I think that suggestion is a good one, why not? I'm gonna make a poll about that. Either way, starting off, I will go on and talk about the first poll. Now, of course, in case you're wondering, this is where the stream ended last time, where I asked about New Game Plus, but now we'll go on and continue from where I was left off, from where we were left off last time, okay? With this question: do you use fast travel in Cyberpunk? Truth be told, I have no idea what made me ask the question. I was thinking about myself mostly, about what I'm doing. Personally, I'm always using fast travel, pretty much no matter what distance there is. However, as you can see, after 31,000 votes, thank you to everyone who voted, people sometimes use fast travel, while 12% of people never use it. And let's actually look at some of the comments here, because to me this is very interesting. People who never use fast traveling. They are probably the most immersed in the game, so why would they use fast travel? Maybe that's how they are thinking about it. So the first comment, we'll go through some of the most upvoted, because obviously the most upvoted are generally what people agree with, right? Rarely has a game with fast travel options ever swayed me to refrain from using fast travel this much as Cyberpunk does. Especially because you're rewarded with sightseeing by just driving around. Big true. Now that I think about it, I remember watching or listening, actually listening to a bunch of podcasts and driving in Night City. That was definitely an enjoyable time. So, for sure, other people perhaps do the same thing. After 5 runs, I use it all the time, but used to drive everywhere. Yeah, driving is pretty entertaining, depending on what you drive, obviously, because we know the driving system is not the best. There are some cars, vehicles, which simply glide on the surface, right? And it's not very fun to drive them. I prefer bikes. If I need to go to V's apartment or a specific shop in Dogtown's stadium, I fast travel. Otherwise, it's driving almost all the time. Never has a game made me want to not fast travel as much as Cyberpunk does, or has. Also have a mod that spawns gang members in vehicles who occasionally get into firefights with each other, and that's a blast to watch. I had no idea there was a mod for this. I know that you can see that by default in Cyberpunk. Personally, I've seen a few fights between members, but I think this mod introduces more of them in the game. Now I'm not sure which one it is. I generally do not install any mods, but I believe I asked the community a question about that. We'll get to that later. Rayfield, Stunjog perk, sprint, dash, double jump, repeat. Yeah, that's mainly what I use as well. Whenever I'm not fast traveling, but I almost always fast travel. Not on stream though. Whenever I was streaming Cyberpunk, I was mostly using double jumping. So I have seen, and I'm very surprised about this, many people who don't know about dashing midair. So basically all you have to do is go... can I show this on stream? I think I've shown this before. Cyberpunk attribute 3 build planner. So there is a build planner online. It's actually called just build planner, right? And if you want to, can you see it? Can everyone see it? I think you can. Basically all you need to do is have 15 in reflexes and then get these perks. This one. Okay, improves aerial maneuverability, however it's pronounced. I basically get that as well. I'm not sure if you actually have anything improved, but I would advise to get that. So basically this is what you need for air dash. Then I also advise for people to get the parkour perk, increased vaulting and climbing speed. That is very useful. If you do not get that, then you'll be slow as someone who's about to retire, basically, right? So there you have it. That's what people use to move faster, for sure. The double jump, the cyberware, you get it from any Reaper dog. You have to jump, or excuse me, dash, jump normally, double jump, then dash again while in the air. That's how you do it. So we have a person who never does it. I always find myself forgetting they exist. But to be fair, I do have like 30 plus vehicle mods, so that might also be why. I've seen, I mean, I will get to mods or modding. I believe I have a question about that later on. So there you have it. The very first question of today's stream. Do you use fast travel? That's the result. Honestly, it's kind of surprising, but many people love just driving around Night City, walking around Night City. Pretty cool stuff. Moving on. The next question. Which life path has the strongest intro? Now, personally, I thought about this question because I've seen many people ask before about which life path is the best one. Here I wanted to switch it up a bit and ask which one is the strongest life path. Lasting impression after playing it. Something along those lines. And so, as you can see, most people voted Corpo. Makes sense, makes sense. I thought that Street Kid would be second, but apparently not. For sure. 66% of people voted Corpo. 21,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. And let's actually look at some of the comments here. I'd say Nomad's intro is more fun, but Corpo's life path is just more intriguing and has more benefits. More benefits probably in the sense that you get the most amount of lines of dialogue specific to your life path. As far as I remember, that's the case. If you check the wiki, I think, somewhere someone made a post at some point related to the specific lines of dialogue you get based on your life path, and Corpo was the one life path leading in that regard. Next. Corpo sets the merciless dystopian tone of the game immediately. Your boss massacres most of a governmental commission, and his boss critiques him not for doing so, but for the amount of money it will take to sweep the incident under the rug. Yep. Your boss then orders you to put together a team to assassinate said boss. Someone then rats you out, leading to you being fired, losing your home, bank account, cyberware, and almost being killed because the Arasaka agents might get a bonus for doing so. That sums up things pretty nicely. Then, Corpo also has the bonus of letting you be the way more terrifying than the other, probably life pets? I don't know. Nomad, since you get your first taste of combat. Also, narratively speaking, it works best for entering Night City from the outside, literally and symbolically. Yeah. It also is the life path, actually not even that one, because I was about to say that there are moments in the game where we should know certain things. For example, whenever we first encounter Maxstack at that intersection with Jackie, we, who spent at least 6 months in Night City, should probably know who Maxstack are, right? I got the impression that V doesn't know about them. And for sure there are other moments like that one. Either way, moving on. Nomad, since you get your first... I've read that, sorry, excuse me. What an animal I am. Corpo is quintessential main character intro, a truly fresh new start, and Jack is actually your friend, or our friend, right? Or at least acquaintance. Not some random guy that suddenly comes up with an idea for us to move into his house. That's actually a good point. That is a good point. I mean, Street Kid can... you can explain that Street Kid was going at El Coyote, right? So, for sure. But then Nomad... depends. It can work in each case. The best for Corpo, that's for sure. So that's the second question. Which life path has the strongest intro? Most people think that Corpo has the strongest intro. Moving on. What platform do you play Cyberpunk on? Now here I messed up a bit. Or no, excuse me. It's later on. So we have PC and console. This poll, which now has 20,000 votes, for the longest time it went 50-50. So it was 50% on PC, 50% on console, but as you can see, it no longer is the case. After 20,000 votes, 54% of people play on PC. I'm a console chick, I would be a PC user, but I'm poor. Makes sense. Same, you're not alone, same. Oh, wow, I cannot speak. There are a lot of people like that. 50-50, exactly what I was mentioning earlier. It was 50-50 for the longest time. PC plus mods plus Phantom Liberty equal peak existence. If I tried to play Cyberpunk on PC, my laptop would probably spontaneously combust. Okay, so there you have it. Not that many comments which are extremely upvoted. We have that one. But then again, not very surprised by the result. I thought that console would have way less players. Not too bad, not too bad. Moving on. How would you like to play Cyberpunk 2? This is a big question. I don't know how many of you remember that on release, whenever Cyberpunk 2077 was released, many people complained that it's not a game that has third person, right? So here you have a poll where a good amount of people would like to play first person only. So that's probably people who played 2077, right? Mostly. Then third person only, 2%, very unpopular. Then both options, 48%. And then we have people who don't really care about that. They are gonna play the game no matter what, probably. Right? First person when fighting, third person when aura farming and immersion walking. First person, but your character is shown in conversations and cutscenes. That's something they did with Dying Light. If you remember the game, the first one was in first person only, but now, with the third game releasing, it has third person cutscenes. From what I have seen, people like that. I'm not sure if people would like that in Cyberpunk, but personally, I think it would, or in Cyberpunk 2. We have them in Cyberpunk 2077, but not that many. So, for sure, it will, based on this, it will be a welcomed addition. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait for an announcement or something like that. Up to CDPR. Something that Cyberpunk made me love is looking down and actually seeing your body. It's such a small thing, but man, every game that doesn't have it feels weird now. Ah, yeah. Speaking about that, I remember that in CSGO, it's a bit off topic, but in CSGO, you couldn't see your feet, but now in CS2 you can. So in the beginning it felt a bit weird. There you have it, 34,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. Most people like both options. Okay, this one is a bit controversial, from what I remember, at least, because I added only one option for the people who do not use mods. I kind of messed up a bit, but I did not agree with some people who complained about that in the comment section. I agree, I messed up. I should have added another option here saying that no, I don't have mods because I'm on console, right? It would have made a lot of sense, considering how many people play on console, right? So yeah, I made a mistake here. Either way, let's look at some of the comments. Thank you to all the people who voted. 26,000 upvotes. Yeah, exactly. An I'm on console option would really clear up this poll. So I replied to it thinking that, or saying that ultimately I decided against it. Messed up, right? I messed up. Adding mods to Cyberpunk has been the most enjoyable video game experience of my life. Yeah, mods are pretty cool. I personally did not install that many. Mostly mods related to language changes for V, for Songbird. Although the ones for Songbird amounted to nothing because I did not release any video. Fun fact. The person who voiced Songbird in the English version does not voice the character in the Korean version, which is very interesting to me. Maybe I will post a short about that. Either way. PS5 player. My laptop can barely run Baldur's Gate, let alone 2077. Let alone 2077 with mods. But when I get a PC of Word, you bet I'm going loco with the mods. Cyberpunk is just fun. I hate Songbird. You're not alone on that. From what I remember, many people dislike her. I think we'll have some polls about that later on. I could be wrong. So there you have it, the poll related to mods. in the future, if I will make the poll again, maybe in 2 years, I will for sure add a third option. Maybe you are thinking to yourself, why make the poll again if you already have it? The thing is, the audience switches, right? So we'll have new people coming in. And not only that, but as far as I know, CDPR is preparing to add mod support on consoles. I might be misremembering that, but we'll have to wait and see. Maybe only for Witcher. Either way, she's a wonderful character. I just don't like how she takes my Keanu away. Yeah, I thought there could have been more interactions between the two. Keanu also has a bunch of interactions as well with V in Phantom Liberty. Is romance an important part of your V's story? Yes or no? So for yes, of course I compiled an image with the romance options, and for no, V going solo, doing something. Now of course that image is taken from one of the teasers. I believe it's taken from the diner. Yes, that's a trailer called, there is a trailer called The Diner. So 23% of people love going solo. Panem and Judy's romance plotlines make the story for me. Without them, V basically doesn't have any ties to the world after Jackie dies, outside of Victor and Misty. My V mindset is no romance because he knows he doesn't have much time left. Makes a total sense to think like that, honestly. The image should have been either Delamain or Johnny. Meh. Maybe when I was thinking about making the question, but after this, I posted so many images with Johnny. It's fine to have diversity in images, right? But here it's about V. Here it's about V. So V going solo, doing something solo, represents very well what I'm trying to convey with the question, in my opinion, right? It's no Cyberpunk playthrough for me without romance in Panem. For many people it's the same, right? Many people love Panem. Corpo V, falling from the top to become a nomad with Panem, in the end, is awesome in my opinion. It works for Nomad V as well. Being left alone without a family, a nomad family, and then joining another one. Delamain is the best romance option? Not in this game. Maybe in the next one? We'll see. My first V, yes, the romance with Judy was important for her growth as a person, but in my second playthrough, V is a killer with a single-minded focus on destroying Arasaka for killing his best friend. So there you have it. V going solo on a rampage to kill Arasaka or whoever, right? Not too bad, not too bad. 22,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. Thank you. The next one. How often do you listen to the in-game radio in Cyberpunk? All the time, sometimes never. 28,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. Moro Rock, 24/7, baby. Alright. Is it getting hot in here? It's 98.7 body heat. It pisses me off how often it turns off by itself in certain areas. I wanna listen to that while I'm fighting. Yeah, it turns off because those areas have their own music, right? Radio Wechselstrom, body heat, so people are typing their favorite radio station. All the time I jam out when I hear a samurai song pop up. Those are very good ones. Not gonna lie. Really good. So mainly people who responded to this poll are typing their favorite radio station. I don't know if I have one. I sometimes listen to the in-game radio. So we have 11% of people who never listen to it. So basically, or maybe these people have their own playlist outside of the game. That makes sense as well. Have you played the secret ending in Cyberpunk? Of course, that's the ending where you attack Arasaka Tower. You get this ending based on your lines of dialogue at the oil fields when having the dialogue with Johnny, right? And then whenever you are on the top of, when you are on the roof, you have to wait 5 minutes after choosing something, but not all the way, right? So you have to wait 5 minutes, and then Johnny will make a suggestion of attacking Arasaka Tower. 60% of people played through this secret ending. 25% never played through it, and 15% of people don't even know about it. Don't Fear the Reaper is just the most fun in my opinion. I totally agree. It's definitely really fun. It's definitely a lot of fun. You gotta pick the rogue option, then wait 5 minutes. It doesn't matter which option you pick. Whenever you're on the top of the roof, you can pick whichever, but not all the way. So you pick it, then you have 3 options, but wait instead. I think you have 3 options. Wait instead for 5 minutes, and then Johnny will ask about it. Fun fact, while most people assume you just have to wait 5 minutes to unlock the ending, the actual time you have to wait is exactly 5 minutes and 9 seconds. The exact duration of the song, Don't Fear the Reaper. Ooh, that's a pretty cool fact, and I even gave it a heart. I generally do not, because with the polls, I try to stay impartial, right? I thought it was only the rogue one. As far as I know, it's whichever one. As long as you wait 5 minutes there and you have the right lines of dialogue picked at the oil fields with Johnny. That's basically it. In the past, people believed that it had something to do with the relationship between them, but nothing is related to that, right? Secret ending, but feels more canon. The most canon. Depending on how you end it. Hanako is still waiting at Embers. Only ending where both V and Johnny are 100% present. That alone puts it at the top for me. That's one reason why I like it as well. Added reason, right? That's a cool fact? Absolutely. Absolutely a cool fact. Alright, so there you have it, the secret ending. 39,000 votes. I think this is one of the most voted poll I made. Thank you to everyone who voted. Each poll I make, or after a number of polls, the number goes up, so thanks to everyone who's interested. Again, I don't have many ideas in my mind. I have to think for a long time sometimes. Sometimes I have to check the community for ideas, as in I look at what people talk about. But if you have your own suggestions, type it in the comment section of one of these polls. And if I think it's a good suggestion, why not? I'm gonna make something out of it. We'll see. It's what I do anyways, right? I go through posts made on Reddit or Twitter, anywhere, right? I get some ideas from simply reading the comments, I read every comment for which I get a notification, like these ones, right? I think people on shorts cannot see that. Either way, moving on. Moving on. Would you like to see Braindance's BDs return in Cyberpunk 2? Now for this one, I chose Giancarlo Esposito. I think that's his name, the actor's name. These are taken from Far Cry, but either way, those are part of a very popular meme where you have the question starting a new game, then that part. For Cyberpunk, you start the game, you're like this, but then you remember the BDs, and you're like this. That's very true for me, at least. After playing Cyberpunk 2077, of course, the first time, sure, the BDs are interesting. But then every time I play it again, it becomes extremely boring and annoying. It's simply how it is. Maybe I'm the only one. Maybe I'm the only one. But based on what I see here, even though that may be the case for other people, they still would like to see Braindances in the next Cyberpunk game. Less linear Braindances, sure. 14% of people don't want to see them. And then 18% of people don't care either way. So they don't care if Braindances are added or not. That is not too bad. 29,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. So we have the top comment, or one of the top comments. I'd like them to come back, but not be so hand-holdy, linear. Exactly what you were saying in the chat. You watch the BD, and it tells you everything notable to scan in it, and it's just a formality at that point. I'd like to investigate the BD without it telling me that there is stuff to scan. I want to be able to miss things and have that effect on the outcome. Yeah, I can see that being an idea. Yeah, that's not bad. Only in optional side quests. That's also something. For example, in Phantom Liberty, it's not really a BD because you do not analyze it, but it is a bootleg BD of Lizzy Weezy singing at the Sapphire. You get it at your apartment, you can watch it. Basically, watch the performance. So that's technically a BD, but not something you're used to because you're generally investigating them with the editor. So you can have something like that, maybe. I don't know. More of that and less of the other stuff, right? There is actually a comic for Cyberpunk, and the BDs are supposed to be kind of like drugs, you know? A lot of people are addicted to watching BDs. So they should make something along those lines. Something that, I don't know, makes you think that yes, that can be addicting. Yeah, that's the word. I'd like to see them return, not only as the investigative element they were used for in Cyberpunk 2077, but also as additional extra content so that the ones you purchase from vendors aren't completely useless. Yeah, there is one vendor in particular which I remember from 2077, from Phantom Liberty in particular, at the stadium. You get to meet two NPCs who are actually the creators of Cyberpunk, or actually the CEO of Cyberpunk, or CD Projekt Red, excuse me. And they sell a BD of the guy at Mega Building H10, where V lives, going around getting the rent, right? So that's the description of the BD. If you can actually watch that now, that would be pretty funny. That would be pretty funny, not gonna lie. You get to see a guy collecting the rent for the apartment, and then you get to the guy arriving at V's apartment. Now that would be pretty funny. Replayable combat simulators would be cool. Yes, something comparable to the one with T-Bug. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. If we are talking about the raw BDs, the analyzing part for sure, but with an option to skip them too by handing it to someone else or something, because my god does it become tedious after your third playthrough, even if you only focus on the main objective of the BD. That's true. Exactly what I was saying in the beginning. After you do it once, it becomes annoying. It's simply how it is. We'll see what CDPR is going to do about this. Either way, moving on. Do you reload to change choices after seeing the consequences? Now this is a big one, I think. 18% reload after seeing the consequences. That's basically all the time, right? Then 66% do it only sometimes. 16% of people never do it. Personally, I think I would fall in the, at the moment, I would fall in the yes category. I do it all the time, but generally to post videos. In my first playthrough, I don't think I did it. Yeah, I don't think I did it in my first playthrough. It was actually surprising because in Witcher, whenever I played Witcher, I did it a lot. In Witcher, or sometimes, I did it sometimes. I wanted to have the best ending in Witcher no matter what, in Witcher 3, so I did it sometimes, but in my first playthrough of Cyberpunk, I don't remember doing it. Anyways, let's see the comments. Actual embarrassment for trying to kiss characters who aren't a romantic option actually killed me. Had to reload. Probably the River one. I think this is referencing River, no? Carrie? Judy? Judy not being bi is in a front? I don't know about that. I already know most choices for 8 playthroughs. I just choose based on what I want my characters to act as. That makes sense. I think most people who have played so much, 8 playthroughs is a lot, are probably thinking similarly maybe? I don't know. Especially if I pick a dialogue option that did not have the tone and insinuation it seemed like it would. I thought that was a flirty line. Why is V calling them a selfish asshole? Which one is that? Which one is that line? I don't remember. But I do remember there is this one line with Johnny where we interact with a huge fan of Samurai, and there are 2 lines which are pretty much the same. You look at them and you do not know what's different. That's one I remember for sure. In one of the lines, if you are choosing one of them, V is an asshole towards Johnny, and the other one you're a nice person, right? You're asking something nicely. Only if the dialogue for the outcome was misleading. I'm looking at you, Witcher 3. I'm looking at you, Witcher 3. Which one was that? Ah, there are a few, I think. For Siri, for example, there is one that I remember from the main mission where I remember Reloaded that in particular, I think. But this one in particular where you have to either start a snow fight with Siri or you pick something else. But the snow fight is the best option. And you didn't know what it meant, right? Probably that's a misleading line. Then there are more of them. I don't really remember them right now because my last playthrough of Witcher was some time ago, right? I did post on my channel a lot of Witcher. If can I do it? Actually, I'm not gonna do it right now, but I did post shorts of Witcher, mainly the Bloody Baron area. But either way, moving on back to Cyberpunk, we have some questions related to Witcher, I think. So, only if I don't have to go back like 2 hours because the whole quest was a goddamn cutscene. Alright, so there you have it. 38,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. Do you reload to change choices after seeing the consequences? 66% voted sometimes. Not too bad. I expected less people, so I am saying that because I see a bunch of people calling it save scamming, I believe. I think that's the term. So I thought it was looked down upon, and people don't generally do that, but apparently many people do it. Many people do it. As I was saying, something related to Witcher, slightly, other games made by CD Projekt Red, because this question is about: are you interested in other CD Projekt Red games besides Cyberpunk? So I had a question here. I think I even replied to it. Are there any other games besides Witcher and Cyberpunk? Yes, we have Gwent. And then we have another project, a new IP they are working on. We can also talk about the remake for Witcher 1. For sure it's still Witcher stuff, but project, maybe I should have said projects instead of games. Would have been better. 15,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. 73% of people voted yes, as in they are interested in other games. Probably Witcher. And I'm surprised a bit, because mainly the people voting on these polls like Cyberpunk. But apparently they not only like Cyberpunk, but they also like other stuff. Great, because I know I'm gonna post stuff related to Witcher in the future. We'll see though what's gonna happen. 27% are not interested in anything besides Cyberpunk. My intro to CDPR was Witcher 3, and it's one of the best games I've ever played. Then I found out that they were doing Cyberpunk, and I was hyped because I thought the teaser looked super cool when I first saw it. Over 1,000 hours of Cyberpunk gameplay, and having played every version of the game. I love Cyberpunk, but yeah, playing Witcher 4, and the series no less, is a dream come true. I remember being a kid playing 3 and hoping she'd be the protagonist of 4 if there ever was a 4th. That's something I was thinking about as well whenever I played the 3rd game. I thought that if they made a new one, it had to be Ciri, because Geralt basically retires in Blood and Wine. But now I'm curious about the Witcher story DLC they are planning to release in the future, because yes, CD Projekt Red is apparently working on a story DLC for Witcher. This was revealed on a Polish podcast. I don't remember the name of the podcast, but you can definitely find info about that on the internet. Would I love another DLC or game for Cyberpunk? Hell yeah. Would I mind if they did something else? Witcher 4? Nah. as long as it has a better launch than Cyberpunk. Big true. I even replied to it as you can see. That's a big true. Cyberpunk, the launch was bad, was pretty bad. So hopefully Witcher 4 will have a better launch. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Are you interested in the Cyberpunk live action project? A surprising poll. 35,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. And out of all the people who voted, 53% of people had no idea about it. That's why I'm saying this is very surprising. So that's why I also added an image over there. I don't know how well you can see it. It's basically CD Projekt Red and anonymous content who are making something in live action. I don't know if it's gonna be a movie or a TV show, but basically these people were involved with a show called Mr. Robot, then another one called True Detective, I believe. So yeah, from what I've seen, people are excited about this. The ones who know, obviously. 34% voted yes. 14% no. Yes, I understand why, because from what I have seen, many people are concerned about games going in live action. This is not necessarily a game going directly in live action. It's a TTRPG going to game, then going to live action. I have seen successful stories in the past. For example, Fallout. Fallout is a very, very good show. And from what I have seen, it's respectful to the lore. There are people complaining, but from what I have seen and remember, the ones who know the lore very well explained why everything makes sense. Hopefully the second season is gonna be just as good as the first one. As far as I remember, they plan on releasing it this year. Pretty cool stuff. Yes, as long as it's an original story and not an adaptation of 2077. It would be really cool to see an original story with references to the game and anime. I think that's what's gonna happen. I doubt that they are gonna make something or an adaptation of 2077. Way too expensive. Especially if they have to get Keanu Reeves, right? That would be very expensive. I think it's gonna be something similar to what they've done in the past. As in, for example, each comic, then we have the book, No Coincidence or whatever the name is, then the anime. Each one of these has a separate group of people, and probably it's gonna be easy to take a group of mercs and have them do something interesting in Cyberpunk. That's basically it. Reed's story could be cool. Reed's story, yeah, why not? That would work. I remember Idris Elba mentioning that he would like to do something with Keanu Reeves related to Cyberpunk in live action. I don't know if that can work, because if you get Keanu, as I said, and even with Idris Elba, I think it would be very expensive. That's why I'm thinking about a no-name crew doing something interesting in Cyberpunk. Whatever it can be, I don't know. A heist? Probably not a heist. Many people do heists in the story of Cyberpunk, I think. There are options for sure. It's up to CDPR and whoever is working on it. Cyberpunk will always interest me, but I'm cautious about getting excited over anything game-made live-action project. Exactly what I was referencing earlier. But there are examples of shows who were really good in live action. As I said, Fallout, from what I've heard, actually that one. I was about to say The Last of Us, but that one, as far as I know, the first season is generally considered good, but then the second one, yeah, I don't know about that. So Fallout for now is a good example. Are there any good transitions from game to live action? Not any of them which I remember right now, besides Fallout. With how sick were both Cyberpunk 2077 and Phantom Liberty's cinematic trailers, can't wait, to be honest. The cinematic trailers, which were done with CGI, yeah. I'm not sure if those are good examples, considering the difference, but then again, it's true that those were really well made. So there you have it. After 35,000 votes, 53% of people didn't know about it. Now they do. So that's more than... So that's about 18,000. Wow. Anyways, moving on. Oh, I was surprised that so many people didn't know about this, but I guess it makes a bit of sense. Do you use the Transmog system to customize outfits? 36,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted, by the way. Thank you, thank you. The Transmog system is the system where you can change or you can add different clothing pieces and create an outfit. An outfit which then, if used, if put on the character, replaces everything you have equipped at that moment. That's basically a basic idea of what the Transmog system is. You can customize outfits. 45% of people use it all the time. You can use it at your apartment, that's why I added this image. 19% of people use it sometimes. 10% of people never use it. I think I'm in this category. And then 26% don't know what that is. Transmog is one of the best things to happen to this game. When I first played, you had to choose between looking cool and having bad stats, or looking like you got dressed by running through a thrift store. Yeah, I remember. So basically how it was in the beginning, the clothing had stats, and the ones which looked pretty bad had some of the best stats. It's simply how it was. So yeah, you looked really goofy if you chose the clothing with the best stats. I used to until they stopped giving clothing stats. Now it's basically just a quick wardrobe change button, because I'm the kind of guy that likes to change my outfits all the time. You know, depending on where I am, or if I want an outfit that matches my car. I use it, just helps you look better. They also used to have mod slots, yes. They also used to have mod slots. That was the previous system for clothing. Whenever Cyberpunk was released. I think I prefer this system. Some clothes do still give stats, yes. Some armor clothes. Some give armor. The ones that look like should give armor actually give armor. That's basically what was left from the old system. Okay, there you have it. Do you stop at traffic lights in Night City? Now, one fact which I wasn't really aware of, or I did not pay enough attention, is the fact that whenever you approach a traffic light, it turns green. Because the player is near it, right? I did not pay attention to that. I always assumed that you had to wait for red, but there is someone in the comment section who mentioned that. Wait, there is traffic lights? Yeah. So why would anyone do that? You still have to stop, even though it turns green, but you have to stop for the other cars. That's something. Most people don't even know why anyone would do that. Out of 32,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted, by the way. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, it's something I never paid attention to. I always just drive with a bike, going through vehicles. I don't care about this. Never did. So there it is, the question about traffic lights. This one is an interesting question, I think. Or I thought whenever I made it. Would you want VR support for Cyberpunk 2? So that is virtual reality. I did not add a fourth option. Maybe I should have added in parentheses virtual reality. Maybe I am underestimating the community, but who knows? Either way, yes, 36%. No, 42%. So people don't want it. 22%, I don't know. Let's see the comments. I feel like VR Cyberpunk would be better as a fully dedicated game rather than as a side mode. Trying to implement it alongside normal play would probably result in a lot of clunkiness. I don't know. I always thought about this as an option you would have whenever starting the game. You check the setting for VR and then you have the mode to play it in VR. That's it. That's what I thought about. Maybe I'm wrong about this idea and it's not the right implementation, but hey. I think a standalone $20 Cyberpunk VR experience would be nice. Nowhere as big as the full game, but a few missions and playing around with the guns and cyberware in VR would be sick. Why would you play in VR if it's not the entire game? I don't know. Hell yeah, the Pan Am tank scene will hit hard. Yeah, there is no Pan Am tank scene in Cyberpunk 2. I think. Anyways, there you have it. Some people want it, some people don't. Now, this one is probably the most upvoted question or poll I ever posted. 49,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted, by the way. I put sometimes? Earlier, yeah. Which gang is your top priority to eliminate? Now, why did I ask this question? I always see players saying something along the lines that this gang is my top priority to eliminate. No, this one is. These guys are some characters who I always eliminate. Scavengers on top. We all know why, basically. Scavenging parts, you know. Cyberware, that's pretty crazy. That is crazy. Not gonna lie. I believe that's why they are voting, or why so many people vote for them. Others are probably voting because of Evelyn. You know, main mission Evelyn. I think some of them are like that. 4% of people voted for the Tiger Claws. And I remember a comment saying that not many people know how bad the Tiger Claws truly are. And that person was surprised by the amount of people who voted for them. I mean, Maelstrom, 23%. Makes sense if you think about it, that some people would just vote for Maelstrom. You had to deal with them a few times in the game, so yeah. Honestly, Maelstrom is worse in my opinion. Plus, they are trying to crack the black wall. Yeah, the Voodoo Boys try to do that more than the Maelstrom. The Maelstrom, as far as I know, they have that whole cult thing with Lilith. That's there is a shard near a Cyber Psycho sighting referencing that, and then of course we have the meeting, the secret meeting with that corporation, whoever they are. We are sent to listen or check it by Gary the Prophet, right? So for sure the Maelstrom are involved in that, but I'm not sure how widespread that is compared to the Voodoo Boys, who basically only do that, or almost only do that. The ones in Phantom Liberty not as much, but the ones in Cyberpunk for sure. They are under Night Corp control? Yes, but I don't know if all of them are. I think that the leadership was not yet taken over, because Royce is very unpredictable, and that's not something Night Corp would look for. For example, Royce, we also have Brick, but Royce, not someone you can control, that's for sure. So I don't think the entire leadership was under the control of Night Corp. But Voodoo Boys, but then with the Voodoo Boys, if you think about it, you should also consider what Slider mentioned in Phantom Liberty, as in the Voodoo Boys are not doing anything. They are not actually penetrating the black wall. That's something to keep in mind as well. Slider is not a garbage netrunner. He's actually a top tier netrunner. Sure, he cannot deal with the black wall, but then again, not many people can. In that circumstance, not many people would be able to survive. After Evelyn Parker, yeah, exactly what I referenced earlier. After Evelyn Parker, I never do a playthrough where Voodoo Boys don't get absolutely exterminated. Ah yes, I only talked about the Scavengers, but the Voodoo Boys also, because they are the ones who sent the hack. I apply justice without discrimination. So it's basically all the gang members. Yeah, I only have I can only add 4 options. This is another approach. Anyone who has a yellow arrow over their head is usually fair game. Usually, not all the time. So we have, for example, the one guy who's a friend of Jackie. Sure, he's a Valentino, and they are not an option, but then again, he has a yellow arrow. But I think that should be someone you should spare, or someone you should think about sparing. Moving on, all of these are terrible, but scavs are everywhere, and eliminating them permanently would be the most beneficial for society. Yeah, for sure. After what Brigitte tried to do to me, it became personal with the voodoos. That's why I mentioned at one point that I'm one of the only people on the planet who, jokingly by the way, jokingly, who experienced those lines of dialogue from Phantom Liberty where you can enter Slider's hideout without fighting anyone if you let the voodoo boys from the main quest, from the main game, alive. That's something I did. And I even posted a short about that. Not surprisingly, most people in the comment section mentioned how they never did that. Most people are gonna kill the voodoo boys when given the chance. I ignore every single gang unless they attack first. The only exception is the scavs. They are eliminated on sight every single time with no questions asked. That's how I usually did it as well. I mostly killed the scavs, and the other ones if a fight was triggered. Correct me if I'm missing something, but scavs feel like an immediate threat, so they get taken out without question. Maelstrom have a few extreme degenerates, overall seem like chill cyborgs. Just don't get in their way. VDBs seem fine until you realize they keep messing with the black wall and want to gain control over the web. So, not a threat now, but who knows what issues they can cause later. Tiger Claws are Arasaka's henchmen, so I understand if you decide to get rid of them. Valentino's and 6th Street are both relatively mellow as far as gangs go, so I don't touch them. Barghest are a military group trying to hold control of Dogtown, so I just stay out of their way. The Mox are not as powerful or influential as the others, but they are probably the only objectively good gang. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Compared to the ones we have in Cyberpunk, for sure. Chill cyborgs? They are like 80% cyber psychos, just low stages. Yeah. High functioning cyber psychos, that's what I call them. High functioning. Not all of them though. Now, question which is very fitting for what I asked earlier. Would you join a gang in Night City? 35,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. 54% voted no. 14% voted yes. And 32% voted maybe. Brother, I'm just one of the NPCs running in the opposite direction after V crashes their Caliburn into a building for the 87th time. Huh. Ah, yeah, I understand, so one of the NPCs, yeah. If you join a gang, then you'd be yellow for whatever player character is running around. I was thinking about in story, would you join? Not necessarily as V. Sounds like an easy way to get zeroed. Depends. I mean, Jackie's connection to the Valentinos is how we were able to work with Padre easier and build up your rep as a solo. That's true. I don't know how far we would have went if it was just us and only us trying to make a name for ourselves. In the 6 months, we have at least one instance where we do something for Padre. So yeah, I think it would depend on your story. Like a street kid would join a gang. Yep, absolutely. A street kid, a corpo would probably stay away. But then again, a corpo has a lot of info about corporations and how they work. So maybe they would find an easier way to join a gang with all of that knowledge. Especially if that gang is trying to mess with corporations. Nomad, used to a family, would they join a gang? That's probably the closest thing to a family, right? I think, in Night City specifically. So there are probably reasons for all of them. I think. Sometimes I think people neglect the social, however you pronounce that, societal and social context for joining groups like gangs. And it's similar to why gangs still exist today. Gangs offer protection for their members, most of the time, portray a view into a life of financial success and stability that a person might not see in a place like Night City, and they give a sense of belonging and purpose. If I was living in the dumps of Night City, with little other options, hell, joining a gang like the Valentinos or the Tiger Claws might be reasonable. Corp V could probably join Tiger Claws. Yes. Tiger Claws. Probably 6th Street as well. Now that we know that in Phantom Liberty they get a lot of help from the new United States of America, I think Corpo V, with their knowledge, not too bad. Not a bad addition. 6th Street, maybe. Anyone else? Maelstrom? Nah. You would have to probably go through all of those extensive body modifications. The animals, you don't have to go through all of those, drugs to get huge. We have whatever her name is, Angie, in Phantom Liberty. She is just smart. That's it. She is just smart, and yet she is the alpha of the animals. That is something, no? The animals. And the animals are mostly bodyguards across Night City. They protect others. They don't really do much. Bodyguards. Boxers, I don't know. Kind of stuff like that. If I had to choose, I'd either be the Mox or the Valentinos. Honestly though, I'd be looking for a way out of Night City as soon as possible. Hopefully with a Nomad clan. Yeah, that's also something. Out of Night City as soon as possible. I remember this account, I think. By the way, fun fact, I don't know how many of you know about this, but if you click on a profile image for someone, you can see how many times they commented, and you can see some of the recent comments. For example, this account, an account I remember, posted 42 comments. Thank you for posting all of that. Go where though? Best place is Europe? Maybe. I wonder how bad the world is outside of Night City though. I think we get some hints whenever we listen to Mike Pondsmith. You know, Mike Pondsmith is a host on the Moro Rock radio station. Sometimes he mentions stuff that happens outside of Night City. I remember he talked about something related to Romania. I could be misremembering, but yeah. I think so. Maybe something related to werewolves and Romania? I could be wrong. The mocks are nice. We are all ordinary civilians. Yeah, it doesn't mean you cannot join a gang. In a dystopian future like that, wouldn't you join a gang? I would think about it. Maybe I wouldn't? I don't know. I don't know if I would. I'm in the maybe category if I had to vote. I think so. Everywhere but Germany? So that's based on the source book? I've never read it. To my shame, I never went through it. One of the Reaper dogs said she'd been working across Europe and even Scotland. Makes me wonder. Yeah, I remember, I think there was one other Reaper doc which mentioned something about Russia. Then that one with Scotland. There are people who worked overseas, that's for sure. Then we also have the mission with Paco in Phantom Liberty where Panem helps us or helps that person go to Africa somewhere. So there are some regions you can go through or go to, excuse me, if you wanted to leave Night City and if you didn't want to join a gang. USSR is still around? Yeah. Leningrad, she said. I think it was Nina Kravis, but I could be wrong. The Marks, I'm joining the Marks. Only the Marks. The Aldecaldos, I don't know if they can be considered a gang. I think they can, as I mentioned earlier. For a nomad, a gang is the closest they can have. The closest family they can have, I think. If we have similarities. Afterlife or no life? Gonna be a legend or die trying? Being a merc? That's my gang? I'm making my own gang. Now that person is crazy. I'm joining FIA. That's not a gang, guys. The Mox, Aldecaldos. I'm a doll. I wouldn't have a chance of surviving in Night City without the Mox. This account, I keep seeing this one as well. Thank you for posting all of these comments. I'd rather make my own gang, if possible, in Cyberpunk. Yeah, someone else with their own gang. Maybe I should have added an option, but then everyone would vote for that, I think. So there you have it. The question with gangs. Ooh, this one is controversial, I think. I was very surprised by the result, not gonna lie. Who do you think is more manipulative, however you pronounce that word, in Cyberpunk, or in Phantom Liberty, excuse me? I'm gonna be a secret agent is a crazy goal in Cyberpunk? Yeah, it kind of is. Phantom Liberty really made me say out loud, oh, so everyone is lying to me. 60% voted for Myers. I guess people were thinking about what she did to Songbird, using Songbird, and that's why they voted for Myers. She's also the president, so she has to be sort of a good liar. Songbird? Yeah, I would have voted for Songbird. Reed? I don't think Reed is the biggest manipulator. He has some actual... Yeah, what he says is something he wants to do most of the time. Songbird though, yeah, she lied to V so much it's actually crazy. Myers, the relationship between Myers and V, I don't think it's that manipulative, right? There is not that much manipulation going around these two characters, in my opinion. Now, for sure, Myers and Songbird, Myers and Reed, Myers and everyone else. Now, for sure, people are gonna disagree with me probably, but whenever we have interactions with Myers, I don't see as much manipulation going on as I see it whenever we talk with Songbird. Even whenever we have that discussion with her, heart to heart, or what's left of her heart, mostly a robot, right? Maybe that's why she tried to use V. Either way, whenever we have that conversation with her, she's not truthful, even then. You know? And she's put in the situation where she has to say at least a part of what she wants to do. Reed just tosses his goals away to listen to orders too much. It's not him with a master plan, but he's a loyal hound. That's true. Very loyal. Even Johnny mentions that a few times, I believe. He mentions that Reed is extremely loyal, as in ideas and stuff like that. Song was gaslighting V the whole time, promising a cure, but depending on the ending, she basically takes it for herself. Yeah, that was crazy. That was evil. Using someone, that's how I think about it, using someone with a terminal illness just so you can survive. I don't know if I could do that. I don't know. That's crazy to me. That is crazy. Maybe I'm the only one saying this, but it is kind of crazy. Now here we have something I mentioned. So manipulative as a general character trait, Myers, and it's not close. Yeah, Myers is a politician. She has to be a good liar with everyone basically. But manipulative directly towards V, Songbird. She lies to your face multiple times about her situation, gives you false promises, and paints herself as more innocent than she actually is. Reed never exactly lies to you, but he tells a whole lot of half-truths and never explains his intentions until he's already seen them through. Yeah. He wanted to help Songbird from the beginning, but he never actually... I think I was never sure of how he wanted to help her. Pretty... I'm not gonna say that on YouTube, but not as outright deceptive as Somi taking you for a ride the whole DLC. Yeah, she was pretty bad. Players actually get fooled by Songbird and then simp for her. Not the case with the other two. I don't know if I can use that word on Twitch. I'm sorry guys, I didn't say it. I didn't say it, so yeah, I'm co-streaming on, or multi-streaming on Twitch as well. I don't think I can use that word, so sorry guys on Twitch. I forgot about this for a moment. Not the case with the other two. Songbird, and you can tell because a good portion of the player base still think she's not playing them. I think most people know that they are being played. That would be surprising. Songbird's so good at manipulation 62% of people don't even realize it. Now that is crazy. That is the crazy line. What are the replies? Everyone pisses off on Reed when they kill the twins. Ah, pissed off on Reed, yeah. Songbird's manipulations is more obvious than Myers. That's what makes it powerful. You don't see Myers' real side until the killing moon. Real side, as in my opinion, I don't think it was out of character for her to do that. Songbird leaking a lot of information, that can happen. Songbird out of her hands, a personal weapon, lost, that's a big deal. So pulling the trigger in that sequence, as in sending all of those soldiers, I don't think it's out of character or showing her face. I would have expected that. I mean, if I didn't do what was asked of me, for sure. Last resort option for Myers. She's pretty damn clear that she just wants Songbird back. Yes, most of the time, all the time, that's what she says. She wants Songbird back. So if you're not gonna do it, then of course, she's gonna send soldiers in. It's simply how it is. In that ending, the Killing Moon, you go against what Myers wants. Of course she's gonna flip off. Of course. It's expected. So, one other aspect about this ending is that you have to wait all the way to the end for Songbird to tell you, yo, my friend, there is a cure only for me. There is a cure only for me. And whenever you ask her about it, and what are you supposed to do, she tells you, isn't it obvious? You're just gonna keep looking. That is crazy. You're just gonna keep looking. There is a line where Songbird says that. So that to me is crazy. Isn't it obvious? You're just gonna keep looking. Crazy. Crazy line. She didn't explain why Songbird was so important, but she was pretty open about the goal. The goal she's accomplishing. Yeah, I mean, you can guess. If Songbird can go behind the black wall and do stuff with the black wall, gather all of this information, do something which not many people can do, you can kind of guess why Myers needs her. Then we have the entire sequence with Kurt Hansen telling you that Songbird is breaking a lot of laws for Myers. You kind of understand it. Or why she needs Songbird back. So there you have it. 29,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. Who do you think is more manipulative in Phantom Liberty? 60%, 36% and 4%. Moving on. This question. Would you harvest cyberware? Would you harvest cyberware? 16% voted yes, 53% voted no, and 31% voted depends. Thank you to everyone who voted, by the way. I would do it. I would harvest organs, or cyberware, excuse me. I would do it. And then I would sell it. For money, exactly. For money. I'm sorry. I may hate these guys, whatever their name is, scavengers, yeah, the scavengers, yeah. English is hard, I know. But money is good. Money is very good. I have to take care of the platinum membership, then eating, then a bunch of other stuff. living in Night City is not cheap, I think. I would do it. Not on living people, though. I think that would be the separation between what the scavengers are willing to do and what I am willing to do. I don't think I would be able to do it on my own, though. I would need a team. Maybe. If I came across a crime scene before the NCPD did, I might steal a cyberarm or leg, but I'm not mutilating anyone or killing them so I can harvest. Where are you from? Romania. Yeah, my accent is amazing. I know. Yeah, this is what I was thinking about as well. I'm not gonna mutilate anyone. I mean, this is exactly what David's mother did in Edge Runners. She basically took the Sendevistan from the dead cyber psycho. Only if I see a tier 5 plus apogee Sendevistan and turn into David Martinez. Yeah. Of corpses? Absolutely. Would I make those corpses myself? Probably not. That is crazy. Crazy, crazy, Mr. Cynic, or whatever your name is. I'd be doing it like I'm scavenging PC parts? Scavenging PC parts? For real? Except it's cyberware? What? Fire profile picture? I will be... Okay, that's enough. I think you'll find people answer differently depending on if they played the original TTRPG or have only played 2077. In the TTRPG, unless your ref is very generous, you're going to struggle financially. And it's that financial struggle that creates edge runners in the first place. That's true. We are all trying to hit it big. We are all looking for that magic gig that will upgrade us to eating real food or moving out of that cube hotel. Cause everyone's got to eat and sleep. So would I harvest cyberware? I would want to. It's not a glamorous job, but if it was that or starving, well, I'm not gonna choose death. That is fair. I think that's fair. I would probably be here. Yes, category. Crazy. Do you want multiplayer in Cyberpunk 2? 40,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. I'm kind of surprised. Maybe CD Projekt Red should check these polls. 50% of people don't want it. 17, I don't know. 33% of people would like multiplayer. And of course, I added an image of the credits in Cyberpunk 2077 because yes, there was supposed to be a multiplayer in this game. There are credits of the people who worked on whatever was scrapped. As long as it's private co-op, it would be neat, but it shouldn't detract from the story either. So something like Dying Light, I think. If they did add multiplayer, man, I would only accept if it was a GTA Online kind of deal where the multiplayer world and single player were entirely separated from one another. I mean, it's what I was thinking about whenever I made the poll. Something like GTA Online. I don't know. It would be cool. but I'd rather them focus on something more feasible, like visible cyberware or more weapons. Yeah, that's something for sure. Visible cyberware? I don't know if they are comparable though. Multiplayer and visible cyberware? We'll see. No, I'm afraid it would be like GTA 5, where all the DLC goes into the multiplayer and the single player ends up with nothing. I have no idea if that's the case or not, because I never played GTA Online or GTA 5. I played 1 hour of GTA 5 whenever it was given for free. 1 hour or 2 hours? Basically nothing. Interesting point of view. Yes, but make it an option like most games. Playing co-op with a friend would be so dope. It is? That's good to know. That's good to know. I mean, we are kind of in this situation right now. If you consider the fact that many people are on the version 1.61 of the game, they are not getting anything. They are the console players who bought the game on release. But now they cannot play this version of the game. That's pretty bad in my opinion. We'll see what's gonna happen. Do you want multiplayer? Yeah, that's a question for sure. Oh no, this one. This one is a merge between the games. Siri in Night City. Will CDPR ever tell the full story? I was thinking about what Siri had to say about Cyberpunk whenever she had that one moment with Geralt in Witcher 3 on the Isles of Mist, or whatever the name is. Isle of Mist? Isles? Anyway, she talked about being in a world or traveling to a world. The description is very similar to Night City, and she was there in that world for 6 months, as far as I remember. So to me that seems like an interesting plot point, but no, people believe that's never gonna happen. Maybe, we'll see what's gonna happen. 6% voted yes, 19% maybe, and who's that? 14% of people don't even know who Siri is. I'm not laughing at you guys, but this situation is very, very funny. I did not expect so many people to vote this option. These are people who only played Cyberpunk. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. This was clearly a throwaway line, meant as a joke, not an actual plot. I disagree with this comment, I even replied to it. I disagree with it. I mean, you are free to say that. I don't think it was a joke. I mean, that part is not accurate. Not an actual plot? Sure. Sure, it doesn't have to be an actual plot. It's just a question. Are they ever gonna go back to that moment and then choose to make something out of it? Not necessarily, but it can happen, no? That's how I thought about it whenever I made the question. Sometimes people won't accept a developer troll as a developer troll. Even when in plain sight. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it was a troll. It's fine. I'm fine if people disagree with me. I don't think, personally, I don't think they will have to do, or they have to do something out of this, but it was an interesting question in my opinion. By the way, thank you to everyone who voted. 19,000 votes. Not too bad, not too bad. I'm not sad about this. Or people disagreeing with me. I'm fine with that. I like that actually. Now this, ooh. Now this is a very controversial question. People attacked me left and right for question or adding this question. Oh my god. Oh my god, this question. Do you think CDPR, CD Projekt Red, has gone woke? Woke in quotation marks. 12,000 votes. Some people were joking about it. Others were questioning. They haven't gone woke because they haven't changed at all. Woke mainly seems to be a word that conservatives use to frighten each other with. Cyberpunk is woke by definition. It's literally anti-capitalist. Okay, I'm not gonna say all of those words. This was a common question or a common thing to say about me. The fact that you even asked this tells most people what they need to know about your beliefs. The fact that you're instantly defensive tells us what we need to know about yours. Thank you, that's actually a fact. So the thing is, I don't care. I'm in this category. 49% of people voted I don't care. I'm in the same category. I simply get a lot of comments, and some of them are from people complaining that CD Projekt Red has gone woke. Then I watch the community. 8% of people are losers. I have no opinion in regards to this. I don't really care. As I was about to say, I get comments from people saying that Witcher 4 is gonna be woke because of how Siri looked, or who CDPR, because of who CDPR hires. I get some of those comments. Then I watch a bunch of people basically go on about that on Twitter. Check every post I ever made on Twitter. Check every post I ever made on Reddit or on YouTube. When have I ever picked a side? Tell me. I never do that. I don't care. I don't really care, you know? I don't care about that. I don't care about sides. I play games. I'm in 4-2. Yeah, I play games. I was simply interested to see. What more people have to say about this idea. Because you cannot tell me you haven't seen people complaining about this. I've seen a bunch of people complaining about this. It was a question. If you're offended by this, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. I'm not gonna apologize for asking a question. It's a question. Anyways, a bunch of replies. 384 comments. That is crazy. Crazy. Okay. Some people were calling me out. It's fine. But yeah, moving on. Oh, this one was a question I really liked. I really liked this. If given the choice for the Konpeki Plaza heist, which netrunner would you take with you? By the way, guys, the ones who did not answer with one of these, Some people were saying Songbird, some people were saying Alt or Spider Murphy. You're simply someone who doesn't understand the question. The question wasn't a question giving you the option to say Spider Murphy or Alt or Songbird. Do you know why? Because those are overkill options and those are not viable options for the heist. All of these characters are characters which could be part of the heist. Let me go through each one of them. T-Bag, of course, we know she was part of the heist. 4% of people would still pick her. Lucy, after the ending of Edge Runners, she returned to Night City. The events of Edge Runners happen before the events of the game. She is in Night City, so she can take part in the heist. Would she want to do that? Probably not, because it's Arasaka. If she needs money, maybe. I don't think she would need money like that. I don't know. Especially because she probably got a bunch of money from... they got 1 million, her and Falcom. How much was the travel to the moon? 250k, I think. I could be wrong. So she's left with 250k. Would she need money? I don't think so. Maybe. Maybe. Sandra Dorset, we know. We save her right before the heist. How much would she need to recover? A day, 2 days, 3 days? You know, after being taken by the scavengers. 2 days probably. 3 days, I don't know. Nyx, obviously, he's at the afterlife. These are all viable options. That's what I was thinking about. Now again, I'm not attacking any of you who picked Songbird or Spider Murphy or Alt. Simply funny that you would go for those options. Overkill. Ultra overkill, right? So most people voted for Lucy. As I said, 4% for T-Bag, 5% for Sandra Dorset, and 27% for Nyx. That is crazy. And you know why? And I had a bit of a debate at one point, I think, in the comment section with someone. Where was it? Did I reply to this person back? Ah, yeah, I did. And there are a bunch of comments. I generally read all of them, for which I get a notification, as I said earlier. There was one thread, I think this one. Aha, yes. I kind of liked this conversation with this person. Unpopular opinion, Sandra Dorset because she is expendable, but has a chance of success. She hacked Nightcorp after all. Yeah, that's not a bad option. I know T-Bag couldn't do it. And now this one is a bit crazy. I saw the pathetic eyes that beat Nyx. That leaves the other two. And despite having the best odds to succeed with Lucy, I would rather not risk her. And I would rather leave T-Bag alive too. Basically, I don't care about Nyx or Sandra much, and Nyx can't hack for... So that leaves Dorset. Then I replied, you need to consider his feats in Phantom Liberty, not only the time he underestimated one of the greatest netrunners. To which I get a reply. I don't know, my 3 intelligence V didn't have much trouble. I get that they had to let V have a win, but I think they chickened out, not requiring like a string of 5 or something that required a better deck. But I get lore-wise, he's supposed to be excellent, but in-game, he just came off as a historian and collector more than a runner in the game. I thought about this answer. Sure, this is one way to look at it, but then, as I previously stated, go through all the feats that Nyx has. So I mentioned them. He has a series of good feats by hacking Kang Tao to know Hellman's route, hacking Max Tech, the fastest in Phantom Liberty, because you can choose between 4 netrunners, Chang Hun Nam, the netrunner Wakako likes, Sandra Dorset. Then we also have T-Bug's friend, from who you get the ping quick hack, and of course we have Nyx, with the most data extracted, and then helping Rogue in the Arasaka raid. I get an answer, touche. I kind of liked that. So that's why I would personally choose Nyx. Nyx is probably the best option, but I can see why people would go for Lucy. Lucy was a very good netrunner in Edge Runners. She worked for Arasaka. Sandra Dorset for hacking Night Corp. These are good options. All of these 3 options are good. T-Bug, in a perfect world, she is also a good option. And the perfect world where Saburo does not decide to visit Konpeki Plaza. That's how it is. That is a perfect world. Nyx hacked NCPD subnet in 6 hours. Keep in mind, that subnet is re-encrypted every hour by 2 AIs. Nyx is the GOAT. Someone who knows their stuff. There it is. At first I thought so many people picking Lucy over Nyx was just Edge Runners fanboyism, but Lucy's biggest strength is that she knows Arasaka systems inside and out, due to growing up in an Arasaka facility. So even while I'd typically prefer Nyx for a Saka job, Lucy's the way to go. Comma. For a Saka job, Lucy is definitely the way to go. English is hard, I know. How can 10% pick a runner who literally failed in the heist? This person is referencing T-Bug. She had at one point 10%. Right at the beginning, I think. There were probably 1,000 votes and she had 10%. 35,000 votes. Thank you guys, thank you. Sandra would never take it. So the only other solution is Nyx. He's pretty good, considering he was able to crack some of the Bartmos stuff. He didn't really help with that. People underestimate Nyx. Yup. Y'all are underestimating Sandra Dorset. She hacked Night Corp. Arasaka would be cake compared to that. Arasaka or Konpeki Plaza? Konpeki, yeah. The Arasaka Tower? Probably not. So there you have it. Netrunners. Oh, this one is nice as well. Do you think Dex would have kept his word and paid the crew if the heist was successful? 33,000 votes. Thank you guys for voting, by the way. Thank you, thank you. 66% of people voted no. 25% voted yes, and 9% I don't know. Underpaid? Definitely, but paid nonetheless. I also believe that he would have paid. If the heist was successful, I think he would have. He'd have paid you the bare minimum, then 2 days later, he'd sell both your asses out to Arasaka while linking Meredith to the whole thing so Arasaka would think you and Jackie were backed by the Militech all along. I think Meredith, being a dependable character, kind of because then everyone could ditch town together and be a good crew in a different town. Yeah. While Arasaka is distracted, he makes for an island getaway again and sells the relic overseas, presumably to one of Arasaka's direct competitors in Russia or China. I don't know if he would do that necessarily. Dex was trying to rebuild his brand, to get his seat back at the Fixer's table. Betraying the people working for him for a successful job wouldn't have done that. He betrays us only out of terror and desperation. I agree with this, honestly. Meredith kind of dies half the time. Yeah. That's what I think she wouldn't come into play for that situation. Then we also have that entire quest given by Padre. That one never actually progressed anywhere. So in that quest, it was supposed to be the Valentinos dressed as Militech attacking an Arasaka facility. But that never actually happened. Anyways. I think people have skewed opinion maybe of Dex because of his betrayal, of the betrayal. Same thing. I think he would have paid. He just panicked, rightfully so, and tried to cover his tracks. I feel like I need to make an edit. I never said he was competent. I said he likely would have paid you. Two totally different things. I guess people in the comment section or in the replies, but I do agree that he would have paid. I think so, at least. Fixers live and die by their rep. No one would ever work with Dex if there were even rumors that he cheated his clients or mercs, especially given how he left Night City the first time. That's not a bad argument. I mean, most of these people kind of have the same argument. So the people who voted yes also commented, but the people who voted no mostly kept it to that. A vote and that's it. He's a well-known fixer, one of the best. It's an awful hit to his reputation to flake out on such a big payment. When the heist went tits up, reputation didn't matter as much. So much as just not being killed by Arasaka. I was thinking the same way, honestly. If I was in his place, I would have definitely done the same thing. I would have tried to get rid of any loose hands and then get out of Night City as soon as possible. It's simply the best plan. Wow, many people have opinions on this. Yes, he would want 2 exceptional professionals to keep working for him. A fixer needs to keep his word to maintain his reputation. Wish we had the option to accept Evelyn's offer. Yeah, she's too much of a snake for me to care about her. I mean, going behind the back of the fixer, I can't be on board with that. He 100% would have. Wow, many people voted for no. I said this already. I said this already. Pretty interesting. Not a bad debate, to be honest. Not a bad debate. I will have to think about some more of these. These are always very interesting. Now this one. This one. Oh. Would you like to join MaxTech in Cyberpunk 2? As part of a quest, life path, or any other option? Yes. 70% of 35,000 votes. Thank you to all the people who voted. No. 12%. 17% maybe. I better choose Trauma Team, and I replied, I'll make a poll about that in 12 days, 3 hours, and 11 minutes. I think I replied to this comment. I think I replied at 12:29 a.m. I might be misremembering. I think I'll have to make a poll, which is gonna go up at 3:40 a.m. We'll have to wait and see until that day if I don't forget. I want Trauma Team missions as well. So yeah, I'll have to make a poll about Trauma Team, but many people would like to join MaxTech. And we do have a quest with Melissa Rory, that person over there, in Cyberpunk, where she tells me to join MaxTech. Now that was pretty cool in my opinion. It would have been amazing if we could have joined, or not necessarily joined forever, but do a mission for them. And I'm still not sure if all of the Cyber Psycho missions done for Regina are not actually missions we are doing for MaxTech. As in, we are supplying them with fresh Cyber Psychos to be MaxTech officers. Maybe something like that will be revealed in the next game. We'll have to wait and see. This one is also interesting. Have you completed all the achievements in Cyberpunk? Yes, no, not interested, no, but I will. This time, and I'm happy I did this. Remember the earlier poll whenever I didn't split the no answers, the one with mods? I could have split, is that the word, the correct word? Conjugation? Anyways, so we have a no answer, not interested, and no, but I will. The same I could have done for mods. Instead of having a no answer only, I could have had, I chose not. I chose, yeah. So in that case, where is it? Mods. Have you used any mods? I should have added a third option here, similarly to what I did here. So that was a mistake, which I was called for in the comment section. In the future. I haven't done the Arasaka ending yet. That's a pretty cool ending, honestly. Especially if you have Takemura. Takemura, if he is alive, then I think that's not a bad ending to play through. Not necessarily a good ending for V. Anyways, moving back to this question. So, 16% of people completed all achievements, and I added this image because I went on Steam and I checked the achievements, and this is the achievement, or yeah, this is the achievement which was completed by the least amount of people. Achievement from Phantom Liberty, I don't remember which one it was. Anyways, 16% of people completed every achievement for Cyberpunk. 44% of people are not interested. And this is the achievement for the full I'm not calling these people fools, but that's the achievement you get for becoming a mercenary. A merc, right? That's one of the first achievements which everyone has. That's what I was thinking about, not calling people fools. No, but I will. People who did not complete all the achievements, but are going to. This is an achievement you get for completing the main mission in Cyberpunk. This is how it looks like. I really forgot the name of, or the reason you get this achievement. Anyways, the damn fast travel data terms are the bane of my existence. So yeah, there is an achievement for finding all the fast travel points. Just check a tutorial, I think. That's the best option. Unless you want to do everything yourself. Do whatever you like, I don't know. I would have definitely checked for a tutorial. As in an image with the image of the map with all of the fast travel points. That's it. So for the most part, you can get all of them in a single playthrough. Even the endings, since after beating it you can load in right before the final missions, where you choose the ending route. The only difficult one to get are the devil, since if you let Takemura die, you don't get the achievement even if you do the ending. And the Phantom Liberty endings, since there is the two major routes that take up the entire second half of the DLC. And if you do not choose the routes that end the game, you don't load in right before the final sequence. You just continue in the main story wherever you are. That's evil? What? The Arasaka ending? Or this achievement? Cyberpunk is still the only game I went out of my way to get all the achievements. This game has such a special place in my heart. Or all weapons? Ah, Iconics, if you mess up Jackie's funeral. I think Iconics. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even remember having problems with the achievements. I think I looked for tutorials every single time I encountered something which was even mildly annoying. So yeah. Purchase all vehicles. Ah, yeah, that's kind of annoying. You have to farm a bunch of money. I did farm on my streams for one character to buy all the vehicles. That's a bit annoying, not gonna lie. Depends. Actually on stream it's not as bad, because I can talk to people who pop in the stream, if it happens, right? Finding all fast travel terminals. Oh, another person who said something about fast travel points. Find all waypoints. Platinum on PlayStation. Then a year or so later I built a PC and I'm almost 100% on Steam. Love this game. If you send Jackie's body to Vix, wait, it doesn't give you the guns at the funeral. Yeah, I know, because Arasaka steps in and takes the body. Base game, yes, but I haven't gotten every single ending for Phantom Liberty. Definitely should some cool ending is even if some cool ending, even if you just load back a checkpoint. And I don't think you can get them if you start the Phantom Liberty. If you start directly with Phantom Liberty, no. If you do that, the funeral quest is completed. But interesting enough, actually I'm not gonna go into that because not many people know about this particular quest. Anyways, not too bad, not too bad. 38,000 votes. Do you read shards in Cyberpunk 2077? Always, 14%, 73% sometimes, and 14% never. 44,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted. Yeah, I think I read them sometimes. Yeah, sometimes fits well with what I'm doing. Sometimes. I swear, half of them are literally this. Text conversation. That guy and John friend. Hey, hey, don't do that thing, you'll die. I'm going to do that thing. Yeah, that's true. There are a lot of shards like that. To be fair, that's almost everyone's story in Cyberpunk. Misty basically warning Jackie, avoid me in reds, and he goes off to Arasaka in dark rooms with red lights. Davy didn't stop, Maine didn't stop, Songbird didn't stop, Reed didn't stop. The city is rife. Is that a word? Not ripe. Ripe with people going full speed in one direction and ignoring advice, warning signs, or even their own conscience. Not consciousness? I thought consciousness and ripe. Anyways, that's pretty true. That's why I stopped reading them pretty one note. I do remember this account. Oh, never mind. I don't. It's just the same profile picture. There is no force on earth that will make me read shards. Rife is a word? Oh, shot. Shot. It's actually a word? I don't think I've ever heard it in my entire life. Ah, okay. That's a new word. Means full of. Thanks. Thanks, that's actually good info. Wow, I didn't know about that. There is no force on earth that will make me read shards. There is also no force on earth that will stop me from collecting them when I find them. It's a 50-50 shot of being interesting world building, or just a sucker punch of depression. No in between. Yeah. If you don't read the shards, you're really missing out on a lot of context and lore. Even the NCPD scanner hustle shards give context as to what happened in the crime scene, and a lot of them involve people that we meet in the gigs and side quests. It increases immersion and makes the game world more cohesive. Yep, that's pretty true. And a few are pretty darn funny besides. A bunch of them are pretty funny. Mostly because of this idea, but other ones as well for sure. I like to read shards. It shows lots of lore and information about Night City and the people in it. I mainly read the ones about cyber psychos. It's like a short horror book. Depends on the cyber psycho, I think. Some shards in a NCPD scanner hustle will lead you to a second location with loot stash. Sometimes it's a message on a laptop, but that's the reason why I always read them. I will probably make another poll in the future about reading computer messages. and probably another one about spam emails. Those are pretty funny, not gonna lie. Anything else? The same account I referenced earlier. Anything quest related. Like Cyber Psychos ones or NCPD scanner ones, but the Radiant ones I generally ignore. Radiant? Also, don't some NCPD missions sometimes open up extra loot? The ones reported crimes, those open up extra loot from different locations. Reported crimes, yeah, those are the ones. Depends. I'm on, I don't know what number of playthroughs. When I want to get into the lore, or deep into the lore, or if I found something I've never seen before, I definitely read them. The only one I think I read was the fanfiction one between Johnny and Kerry in the Superfan's home. Honestly, I don't regret reading that. I don't remember it. I think the Superfan is the one who got Kerry's guitar. Depends on how long they are. I typically don't read any info items in games if they are more than a paragraph long. Yeah, I get that. I have poor reading comprehension. I want to get into the lore, but sadly somewhere in between the lines, I literally just get lost in its meaning, so I try to get what little from the shard's info as possible. Yeah, that's tough, not gonna lie, that's tough. Sometimes I feel like I'm losing myself because of TikTok as well. Because of TikTok, I'm not sure if this person has the same reason, but you need to the people who are on TikTok really need to detoxify themselves if they want to start getting into reading or something like that. Or at least in my case, that's how it is. I know that if I'm doom scrolling for a long period of time, for multiple days, it's like I just learned how to read whenever I'm trying to read something longer. Even now I'm kind of struggling, but sure, it's English, so second language. But whenever I'm trying to read in Romanian, right? I sometimes feel like I'm stumbling in my own words. It's bad because of TikTok, I'm saying, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, that's the question. Those are the answers. A bunch of them. I could go and read all of these answers, but 174 comments. Thank you to everyone who commented on this one and all of the other ones, for sure, absolutely. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Last comment or last poll, this one I made today, so it for now has 17,000 votes. Thank you to everyone who voted, and 92 comments. Would you have joined Barghest if given the chance in Phantom Liberty? Barghest, of course, the private military owned by or controlled by Kurt Hansen. I thought about making this question after the official account for Cyberpunk changed their profile and name to Kurt Hansen. I mean, right now it's back to the original, but they changed it for a couple of days, I believe. I don't know for what reason. It was for sure something to celebrate the release of Phantom Liberty 2 years ago. But I'm not sure if it was for other reasons. I saw some people speculating on Reddit that Edge Runners Season 2 is gonna be related to Dogtown. In a way. Speculations, obviously. And I replied to that speculation. Thinking that because I also believe that they are gonna do something with Dogtown, or the story elements presented in Phantom Liberty. Yeah, I was hoping for it to be an ending. So yeah, I think I should go and look for this Reddit post so I can show it on stream. I think that's an idea. Okay. So here we have the Reddit post. Official Cyberpunk Twitter X account has changed its name to Kurt Hansen. I should move this one to the right, to the left, excuse me. And you know why? I wonder what they are going to reveal. So this comment is what I was referencing earlier. The anime Edge Runner Season 2 having a focus on Dogtown would be awesome. And then I say, exactly what I was thinking. The text and the color used in the promo image for Season 2 remind me of the ones for Phantom Liberty. Honestly, I think that's something that could happen. Let me show you. Aha, I found it. Image. Here is the image. This is for Edge Runners 2, coloring, etc. And Phantom Liberty. Promotional image. I don't know if I can find a promotional image for Phantom Liberty that looks similar to this one. Red text. The font is probably similar. The font interrupted the letter there, interrupted letter there. Let's take this image. The font is sort of... actually, this one is better. So we have this image. It's kind of the same font. Disconnected letters. Kind of the same one. Then we have red, a bunch of red. This is red for sure. That's what I was thinking whenever I replied to this comment. Maybe it will happen, maybe not. We'll have to wait and see. For now, let's get back to this question where I asked if people would join Barghest. 17% voted yes, 61% voted no. Kind of surprising, but not that much. If I could lead them, then yes. Imagine leading an entire army against Arasaka Tower as one of the endings. That would be insane. Breaking background too? Yeah. Oh, by the way, I should move this a bit to the right. Leading them, I think that's too much. I think that would be too much. Sure, interesting, but too much. Depends on who you are. If you like the idea of being the chosen one, doing the greatest things all the time, right? Sure, you are kind of the chosen one in Cyberpunk, but sometimes you don't have to be the one doing all the stuff, being the leader all the time. I kind of don't like doing that all the time, you know? I like doing multiple playthroughs, so... to try different routes and endings. So absolutely yes. I mean, I actually like Kurt, so yes. Kurt gives you the cure in exchange for your service, and you get to screw over Myers. I'm cool with that, as a badass merc joining an organization run by a badass merc. Granted, that goes against what, whatever that means, is all about. Maybe this person wanted to say Cyberpunk? Phantom Liberty? It's not Kurt's story, it's everyone else's. Depends what's Kurt going to do about the relic. What can he do? I mean, is he gonna give you the cure? Are you more important to him than Songbird? Because the deal between Kurt Hansen and Songbird is that actually don't. What's the deal between them? She helps him with the thing extracted from the ground. You can tell Kurt Hansen that you actually need it. I don't know how that would play out actually. If you join Barghest, I have no idea. Actually, maybe this person is thinking about if Kurt Hansen would want the relic for himself. I doubt it. Probably not. Maybe. Kurt Hansen is not an evil dude, and unlike Song, Reed and Myers doesn't like... he doesn't like cheat... doesn't lie, cheat, backstab, or try to dig his hooks into you. He could have given you the expressway down from the casino too, but lets you walk out because he's a nice guy. Is that Cartman? That looks like Kim Jong-un Cartman. Not a bad choice. Kim Jong-un Cartman. Wow. That's actually pretty funny. Easily the best faction in the whole game. No, but a narrative path to negotiate with Hansen? Absolutely. Haven't played since my first playthrough, but actually joining a gang could have been a fun mechanic. This guy, oh my god, this guy. They named themselves after a dog, and now they die like one. Why would I join the equivalent of NCPD, but without the facade of legitimacy? And I replied, the Barghest is a spectral monstrosity from the English folklore. A spectral what precisely? I knew what this person wanted to get at, so I said, still a spectral being. It is a spectral being, to me that's pretty cool. I remember reading some of those Scooby-Doo comics whenever I was younger, and there was one comic which was about the Barghest, so I thought it was pretty cool back then. And even now I think the idea of a spectral dog, monstrosity, whatever, is pretty cool. Maybe 22%, 61% no, 17% yes, 18,000 votes for now. There will probably be more of them, but we'll have to wait and see. For now, these are all the polls I made. Every single day. Again, this stream happens last Saturday of every single month. Hopefully I will post a poll every single day. I'm not sure for how long I can keep doing this. Maybe I will have to post more general terms or polls, not only necessarily related to strictly Cyberpunk, but I don't know what people like. So we'll have to wait until the end of next month and see if I can post a poll every single day, if I can stick up to that. So right now I'll have to make another poll. In the next hour or so I will have to think about something. So with that being said, I've been streaming for 2.5 hours. Not too bad. Last stream was only 1 hour, but in this one I yapped a lot more. I think that's what we should do. Truth be told, in the last stream I did not have as many polls. Definitely not as many interesting ones, and not as many votes and comments. So again, thank you to everyone who voted and commented. Pretty cool stuff. And yeah, I think the stream is gonna end right now. Thank you and goodbye. Thank you to everyone who checked the stream. Thank you to everyone who commented in the stream, in the chat, whatever.